DOL determines number of days worked, and so you'd still be back at the point of trying to do the 30 days.
And of course, we have that same problem, another problem in Kansas City with the GSA workers who were in the same facility as Honeywell, who were breathing the same toxins through because they shared ventilation systems. They went through there to go to the cafeteria, for instance. And so would we have to file a separate petition for GSA workers?
Well, this is the DOL question, but I believe I know what their answer is.
They have their federal employees.
They don't work for the Department of Energy, and so even though they're federal employees, they're not covered by this program no matter what.
That's a FECA claim, and good luck. The probability of causation is higher.
They're not a covered facility, and that's unfortunate because, when I went to Kansas City, I always requested that FECA was up there because you wanted to make sure that these folks, because I agree, if you've got people in the same building, that just scares me. I worry about cross-contamination, and you hate to tell somebody over here at this table, hey, you're qualified, but you're not. But it's almost a situation, this sounds as a terrible analogy maybe, but if you, I don't even know that you could use this, but I always tell people if you go to McDonald's and you get a Big Mac and you get food poisoning, Burger King ain't going to pay you. And it's kind of like that. It's all government. You're in the same building, but it's two separate entities.
Yeah, and other unique situations. DOE contracted with the Center School District to use one of their middle schools for years for manufacturing purposes. Now, this information is not being let out.
We did that in Dayton, too.
So it's going to come up. We may want to get this building and those children monitored or see what happened to their health. Also, we had temporary workers throughout the years that came and worked in that plant to do remediation. Temporary workers for temp agencies that came on the plant facility to orientate their workers to what they were about to do. Those people need to be located also. Now, we have documentation where the union denied that there was ever any temporary workers in that plant. So that's not true. And we have found documentation that those temp workers were there. These are the type of things that probably could help us to leverage to get the SEC.
Yeah. Any questions about the temporary workers and their coverage? Again, that's a Department of Labor question, and so I can't really speak to it. Sounds like there might be something there.
Yeah, or Department of Energy. I mean, typically DOL would initiate that, but if it's something with another facility or we were doing work or had contracts with some other, and I don't know anything about that specifically, but we could certainly look into that and see what contracts there were, what other facilities we were using or contracting with, what that relationship was, provide that information to DOL for a determination of coverage.
Well, the subcontract work that goes on in our facilities, where we use other tool and die.
Right. No. That's. I'm talking about the school facility that you had mentioned. I don't know any of the details, but you said they had a process going on off-site at a middle school or whatever. That was something we could look into with the contract relationship. As far as subcontractors on-site doing DOE work, I assume would be covered. It's just a matter of finding out, trying to identify who they were.
Subcontractors doing work at their facilities.
Could I ask? So how would there have to be a contractual relationship between that facility and the Department of Energy? There needs to be either an MOU or something.
That's what an AWE is. I think that's an AWE is
Many
sort of
facilities. It was a Center Middle School. Center Middle School in Kansas City, Missouri. Also, other facilities, New Tech, May Tool and Die, Phelps Tool and Die. We contracted with all of those people. Those people did our work. I took work off of the floor as it was in process and shipped it to May Tool and Die, or shipped it to New Tech, or shipped it to Phelps Tool and Die.
Again, these are Department of Labor questions. I don't know where they come down on something like that. I just don't know.
Craig, does DOE maintain the legacy documents from the fuse wrap sites that are being cleaned up, St. Louis and all that?
We do. We have those. We can find most of those. They're actually with Legacy Management has most of those, and one of the fuse wrap experts over there is one of the guys that we use for a lot of our research. I mean, we go to all of our sites, but one of the gentlemen who's very familiar with fuse wrap does a lot of that because they have a lot of the records of the old AWEs and stuff like that. Even if the original records aren't around, the cleanup records are, which will give you some indication of what was done and what type of hazards were there.
Do you have the guest logs for the fuse wrap sites after they were designated for any cleanup?
I think that would depend on the specific spot. I'd have to look at it. I don't know offhand.
Wayne, did you have a question?
Yes, there is a matter of secrecy here. At the Kansas City plant, for example, they were machining 10,000-pound lots of recycled depleted uranium. But if you look at the assay of it, it had uranium-236 in there. Uranium-236 does not come from Mother Nature. The way we got U-236 in there, we ran the U-235 and U-238, U-235, primarily U-238, in the reactor to produce the plutonium. Then we removed it from it. And so that at the Kansas City plant, since they have U-236 in their depleted uranium, it is actually recycled depleted uranium, which has plutonium in it. Now, we had a problem, and this isn't classified, in saying how much plutonium we left behind, because it is possible that someone could gather this depleted uranium. Depleted uranium is in palaces. I can get depleted uranium. Is it possible for someone to take that recycled depleted uranium that we had that contains plutonium and take the plutonium out? So it was really not advantageous to say how much was in there. Is it possible that we could find out how much plutonium was in there? Because U-236 was there, so I'm pretty sure that it was.
Reports, wouldn't it?
They also had U-236, U-233 there. U-233 was from the thorium cycle. It wasn't from the uranium cycle.
Right.
That was the other atomic bomb material here. So, and that was used in teapot, for example. And I suspect they had that there at the plant. And I suspect that it was not a non-nuclear facility that they said. You look at the plutonium. They had plutonium, the QB sources there, and they did not have a viable neutron dosimetry program. They had, I saw cases where they had purchased a radiation detector, but they forgot to purchase the detector. They had no health physics people there at the plant. There are a lot of reasons why that plant should be classified as an SEC. They had a Promethium-147 spill that occurred over a 12-year period and went undetected. Again, no health physicists, classified as a non-nuclear facility. Even the evaluation of that had problems because you're going to have samarium growing in that plutonium, Promethium-137, and it is an alpha emitter, and it's a couple of thousand times worse than its